Hello everyone. Today we're going to take a look at something of post-war origin and its other countries' 1937 pattern webbing. I didn't address this in the complete webbing as I was mainly addressing wartime items and of British and Commonwealth manufacture. So without any further ado, we'll go and get right into these items. So what we have here is a pair of post-World War II Italian cartridge carriers. Now, 1937 pattern did adopt cartridge carriers, but unlike the Italian ones, the Italians did make multiple different pairs. The Italians came up with a 2-cell. So there's only just 2 of these pockets, but it also came up with a 3-cell, which more imitated the Great War ones, although there would be another one either here or here. There was probably a third one down here. But basically these mimic the same as 1937 pattern. You got your C-hooks, which are ridiculously thin. And you also got this 1-inch buckle up here, so you can pass the cross strap on through, or the brace right on through there, and you can have the L straps hook onto the top there. Now you will typically find these on eBay being listed as World War II, to which these were not developed in the Second World War. Military Collectibles has done a great video about discussing 1937 pattern cartridge carriers, but I also before I talk about these. So we'll get into the markings. These ones thankfully are not marked, so they're not marked, but basically the places you can find them is typically in this one up here. And you would typically find them with War Department, WD, and then you'll have 1941 or some other date on them. You would also typically, I believe you'd also find it in here, but thankfully none of this pair does not have any of those markings in them, which is a good thing. We're now going to talk about how many rounds of ammunition they can hold. So what I will do is actually fill up this cartridge carrier with charges of 303 ammunition. So now, as you can see, this one on the right here is filled with 60 rounds. No, 30 rounds. They would hold 60 in total. But in each pocket, you get to hold 2 charges of 303 ammunition. These are inert rounds, just need to clear that up. As you can see, of something of British design, you have a central divider right there. Now the way you can typically tell the differences between British and Italian cartridge carriers is the colour. The British webbing would come out in a khaki colour, whereas all this Italian stuff has already been dyed. So it more resembles KG3 Blanco. But as you can see, the stitching on it, it's not even the same. As you can see with that one, that's been dyed. Another way you can also tell that these are Italian is actually by the press studs. Now we'll take a look at the interior press studs first. So if we actually open this up here, it does say, if I can get it the right way up, Fiocchi, Italy, which is a clear indicator that these are Italian. Now we'll get on to the next way you can tell that this is a Italian made example. So as you can see, I've just left in this cartridge carrier as we're going to talk about the exterior of the press studs. Now the British used this style of press stud, where it's got a pebble grain type finish to it. This is on the pistol ammunition case. But as you can see, it's got a pebble grain side effect. And of course there is the male and the female part. But however, not all countries were supplied with these press studs. So you mainly see countries like Australia, they actually use the British style and the style that's on this. Because these are commercial press studs. So if you were to go look at press studs now, you would typically find them. The female looks like that, smooth, and that on the inside, and the males look like that. So you would typically find them looking like that, whereas the British, it's got a simple pebble grain style. If I can open this one up, because this one's a little bit tight. As you can see on the female, you have this large disc on here. Of course, there is a stamp of who made it. And of course, you've got the male part of the press stud. And you've got the rivet that actually holds it in place in there. Where with the Italian stuff, like I said, that's the female. It's completely smooth. And there's the inside. It's completely different to the British. And there's the male parts of the press stud. In a Military Collectibles video, he does mention about the press studs. So hopefully you found this video informative and enjoyable, especially discussing something like post-war Italian cartridge carriers, because loads of people mistake these for wartime, to which we never made them wartime. We never made them look like this. Also the reason why, as I showed the pistol ammunition case, is simply because I do not have a pair of British cartridge carriers on hand, as I actually do not have any in the collection. So probably that's the next item I will have to get. British cartridge carriers are relatively cheap, so are these. But like I said, if you're purchasing some, find them free sale, smooth press studs, they're Italian, and also markings on them. So that is just a quick and short video. Hopefully this video was informative and enjoyable, and thanks for watching.